Shalom. First off, we give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Yahweh be the true name of Heavenly Father. Yahushai be named for His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Jesus Christ. I want to give double honors to our apostles, double honors to our elders of great millstone that taught us the truth and will well. And salutations to you, hopeful that pushing this truth with all honest and sincerity. This is Brother Yahweh, no less than spirit power, Yahweh Yahushai. It's a quick in-transit lesson to the Spirit. Just want to go ahead and reiterate and piggyback off this video that Elder Apostle Tahar had shared, and it's titled Red Alert. It's about to get serious out here. Now, I encourage you to go watch this video for yourself. Lord's will through the Spirit. Once I get done in transit, try to remember to go ahead and post a link to the video for you to check it out. If not, you can just look at the screen that's on there if you want to just type it in and tune into it. Things about to get real heavy and serious out here for real, man. You know, the title is 100% as far as with the information that was shared. Okay, basically to go into it, to sum it up, they just passed a law in New York to give the government and these hospitals complete control and authority to come snatch people up against their will out of their homes and quarantine them or put them in a concentration camp based on any disease or illness that the government deems plausible. So it could be anything that the government says, for this sickness, we're gonna snatch these people up and we can take them against their will, of any age, without anybody's permission, without any type of interference or self-defense, without any type of legal representation or excuse. They can, whatever the government deems necessary, they can come and snatch you up and put you in a camp based upon an illness. So brothers have been sharing information on the what's going on in the news of different sicknesses that's going around, especially one that's hitting China as far as the pneumonia and different respiratory illnesses that's getting ready to spread and it's killing people over there, and it's going to be over here. And we know Esau Edom, man, he's the harbinger of death. Okay, his blessing was the sword, all right? And that's not just literally talking about you know, a physical sword that slices people up in a sword fight. It's talking about anything that can be used to cause serious bodily harm or kill somebody, and that goes from wide range of what they conjure up in the lab. Mainly, this is just part of his sword that he's perfecting right now. That's part of his sword. His new sword is definitely biological warfare. Okay, his sword can also go into systematic oppression that leads up to death. You know, to cause you to become in starvation. They can go into literal killing instruments, from guns, guillotines, knives, literal swords, all of that, man. So he's a killing machine, and also he's the biggest deceiver on the planet. So he can make you, and what he's done, and he's convinced the world to believe these are natural causing illnesses that just came out, you know, that just came into existence, you know, through genetic manipulation and things like that. And they've also will pin the tail on the donkey and say it was another country that created a biological weapon. You know, that's what they pushed out in the media, you know, in 2020. They had China taking the fall for it. saying that they conjured up this stuff in the lab. Come to find out, it was the U.S. that really was behind that stuff, man. Esau's government in different labs in Africa, you know, and then taking the stuff over there to China and funding all the shit and putting it out there. So they come out with different strands, as they say, of the you-know-what. The thing that happened in 2020. Just different numerical versions. You got the 19, you got the 20, you got the 22, they call it the variant. And then they come out and tell you and say, hey, this is going to be coming out at this specific date next year. How the hell would they know that? How would you know that a certain strand of illness is going to come out at a specific day and time on a future date of the following year? How do you know that there's a certain season for these things? And that you need to go get an updated, fruit punch that you need to put in your body every year for it, because it's going to be another strain. How do they know this? Because they're the ones making the strains, man. Okay? And they convince the people that this is just something that naturally occurs and there's an actual season for it. No, it's not. There's no actual season for these things. Now, granted, with the change of the weather, it does affect your immune system. But really, it shouldn't shock your immune system that much with the change of the weather if the things that you eat are lawful and clean and beneficial to your body. But Esau has also done that as part of his weapon. He's weaponized the food. He's weaponized the food industry as well. To where the things you eat in America cause cancer and all types of other illnesses. And it causes excess mucus in your body. And mucus is the root of basically all diseases. It is the catalyst, or the holder of all diseases is an excess mucus in your system. Dr. Sebi broke that down with his alkaline electric diet. You make your body 100% basically alkaline, basically turn your body into a energized battery. No disease can survive in that type of environment. So he's created a diet and spread all types of GMOs in the food to where when they do conjure up something in the lab, your body easily ingests it and gets infected by it. So right now, it's a big alert of there's another illness coming. And then coincidentally, quote unquote, they just passed this law in New York. And you know it's going to go from state to state to state to state to state. It's all the laws that they implemented in New York with the lockdowns and things like that. Every single state, applied those type of jurisdictions as well. Everything begins over there in the mega hub, the epicenter, the great city of America. Which many can argue is definitely New York over there. You got New York, and you got the face of the idolatry and the military structures over there in D.C. Okay, and you got other major cities such as Chicago, Dallas, the mega cities, L.A. Would set the standard for each region that those major cities are in for all the other states to follow on the different coasts. And the scriptures talk about how, in the book of 2nd Esdras, 15 and 16 chapter, basically the times of martial law, civil unrest, wars, economic collapse, and starvations. It goes into that. And all these things are approaching, and all these things are put together as a collective as a whole is what Jacob's trouble is all about. So when we keep telling you that Jacob's trouble is coming, just know that means lockdowns. That means economic collapse. That means total government control, martial law. That means you're going to have tanks driving in your neighborhoods. Painted on the side is going to be U.S. military, but also UN. All right, you're going to have troops, UN troops, foreign troops that have been paid and hired and been over here for decades, learning the surroundings and the the terrain, learning how people operate, to how to conduct themselves with them and how to use and take advantage. Studying these people. And they're not from here. They're immigrants. Some of them have been disguising as, immigrants in need, coming through the borders. And they're just sleeper cells awaiting orders from the UN. Once they're activated, those soldiers they've been given housing too, some of them, man. They got different housing areas for these people. Different apartments set up. Fabricated, container homes and things like that. They've just been living in them. Don't even speak a lick of English, some of them. But they're told, hey, you're going to live this lifestyle and live this way until we give you orders. And then you're going to put on that uniform and you're going to report to this certain station in the United States. And they're going to round all these people up. It's going to be a whole army, man. And they're going to get into these MRAPs and these Humvees and Bearcats. All these I'm talking about are heavily up-armored vehicles. And they've been, training them in the droves. And I'm talking about trains of them, not buses, not truckloads, trains of these vehicles, man. And there's been reports and documented of the parking lots where all these stuff have been staged over the years. So all these things, man, they've been prepping to do to come against your people. So when chaos hits, the controlled chaos, when they collapse of society, dollars gone. And they need to implement the CHIP system, the Paragma, the Revelation 13 and 16 is what I'm referring to. And they're trying to round all these people up to go get that. That's who they're going to control to do it, man. And they're also going to justify forcing the Revelation 13 and 16 on people. This is the MOTB, the mark of the you-know-what. The rice grain, the rice that goes in your hand and in your head. Once they push that out there, they need justification for it. And the justification is going to be under medical use. For medical reasons, we have to force people to go take this thing, to identify those who potentially might have the illness. And anyone that does not comply to receive the rice grain will be what? Forced into the camps. That's how Esau is going to get down, man. And he's going to release something that will scare people to death, that is going to be killing. Millions will be dropping from it. All right? And the juice that they already pushed out there in 2020 that people drank of, that's just been simmering in everybody's system, man. And the person that invented that juice back then even said it. He resigned, president of the Zur company, the Peazer company. He said it himself. These people they're lucky to live 2 years after this. So basically 2021 was the mass year where everybody flocked to go take the juice. 2022, damn near everybody got the juice. So we can expect, rounded up, let's say 2024, we can expect people to be hit with a big time illness. If the timeline is right, from when the president of that company resigned and gave the warning, people are lucky with 2 years, and coincidentally all this information is coming out that another big illness is getting ready to hit. And everybody that drank of that cup is going to be affected and start getting very, very sick. People are already dying out and falling dying suddenly from blood clots. There's been a lot of deaths in 2023 alone. Those ones from 2023 are dropping are from the people that took it in 2021. So, from people in 2021 that took it, they basically falling out this year and getting complications. Now remember, the longer this shit is out there, the more they perfect that poison. So the people that accepted it in 2022 is probably going to get it worse. Those are people that are really going to die. Yeah, some people that just didn't die behind it. They just had like strokes. They had heart attacks. You know, they died. They suffer from causes that can appear to be natural, that people go to the hospital every day for. But it's unnatural because these type of illnesses and things are happening to people that are way too young to be experiencing these type of things. People coming out with all types of body illnesses all of a sudden that they never had their whole lives. But they accepted the fruit punch. They trusted in the enemy. And that's a slow killer, man, that thing that people took. It's engineered. Brothers put all types of shows breaking down what's in that crap, man. There was like this parasite thing that they use that can reproduce on itself and basically doesn't die and just goes in your system, goes to the blood-brain barrier, gets through, and causes clots all in your body. So people are going to the hospital from all different things happening to them that's serious, and they all have something in common. It deals with clots. So 2024, you know, could be a year, man, of a lot of death. Because we didn't see the death for real in 2020. The media proclaimed that it was a lot of people dying. But we didn't see the death for real in 2020. It wasn't until after they rolled out the fruit punches, if you know what I'm referring to, that all of a sudden you start hearing many of your loved ones personally that was dying. We warned y'all, man. So what more can you expect? Hey, man, gird your loins, man. Stay grounded in the faith. Stay prayed up to Yahweh Shem Shai, man. Call upon the name of the Lord. Get into the herbs. Get into the herbs, man, because they're inventing things that they're spraying in the air. In the air, man. They're making shit airborne. But, hey, the Lord told us, he says, the Lord make medicines out of earth. He that is wise will not abhor them, what they paraphrase. I believe that's Ecclesiastes 38 and 4. So once you have knowledge of these things and you have divine intervention protecting you, you got permission from the Lord, from the green light that you're going to be good, he's going to preserve you, then you got to follow the instructions of what he told you to use to preserve you when it comes to illnesses. Get into, y'all got to really study the herbs, man. And I advise you to get into wild herbs and edibles that grow around you, because you're not going to be able to just go to the store and buy shit. You probably aren't going to be able to go to the store and buy an onion. So do you know how to find an onion naturally that occurs in the wild? Think about it. Do you know how to find wild garlic? Do you know how to identify it? What can you eat that's in your backyard or in the woods, your local woods, that contains a lot amount of vitamin C? What can you consume and make a tea out of that attacks viruses and kills viruses? You got to research this information, because the stores, they're going to be gone, man. They're going to be ransacked. You're not going to be able to get Tylenol, so where can you find it in the wilderness? I can mention a couple things before I close out. If you need vitamin C, you can go to find you a cedar tree, and you can take off some of the cedar tree leaves. They're like little needles, all right? They're like little needles, you know, a bunch of them, and they got these little purple berries on them. Those are called juniper berries. Make sure it's a cedar tree. You're gonna have to do your research and get you a whole handful of them, man. Boil some water, and when the water's boiling real rapidly, drop them in there and take it off. Take the pot off of the heat and just let it simmer. Let it simmer for about 10-15 minutes, man. Just let it soak. You don't want to boil it in the water to kill off the vitamin C. But you want the water boiling, so when you drop it in there, you know, whatever bacteria or whatever might be on the cedar tea leaves gets killed from you dropping it in there, but it's not hot enough because you took it off the heat to where it doesn't burn off the vitamin C that's necessary. All right, so that's cedar trees. You could also go with pine trees. Now, pine, you got to be cautious. Some pine trees, you know, the needles you can't make tea out of. Just remember that clusters of 3 is not good for thee. All right. So pine trees that grow needles. Those needles grow in clusters. They're going to grow in either clusters of 5 or they're going to go in clusters of 3. Clusters of 3 is not good for thee. All right, so you can take those pine needles. Massive amount of vitamin C in there, all right? Massive amount of vitamin C. Another one to lower fever. If you've got a high fever, you're not going to have access to Tylenol to lower that fever down. So for one, get you some cool water on a t-shirt or cloth. Apply that to your forehead, and you need to locate a willow tree. Willow trees go all over the U.S. All right, but willow trees are common. Those trees that have that long branches and they droop down or curve over like hair. Looks like a tree has a bunch of hair. All right, you want a white willow tree. You collect some of the bark and you put that in a tea. Boil the bark for about a minute or 2. Take it off, let it seep 10-15 minutes. That's going to lower your fever. That's natural occurring. Other things that are considered antiviral is you got dandelion roots. Dandelions are extremely common. Okay. You have wild garlic and wild onion. Now, when you look at grass that grows in people's yard, you can identify wild garlic and wild onion by those grass strands that look like they're different from other grass. They grow in like little round. They're like round and a squiggly or squirrely. And you break it, you smell it. It'll smell like an onion. They don't grow flat like a grass blade. They grow kind of a little bit round and a little bit longer. They sprout up a little bit longer and quicker, and they grow in bunches and clusters. When you pull them out, you're gonna smell the garlic or the onion smell. Boil that and drink that. You got wild garlic, wild onion. It has a lot of antiviral properties to it. These are herbs, man. I'm dropping some gems here. Lord's will, through the Spirit, I can try to do some after editing and post like a slideshow of the things that I'm talking about that I mentioned. You know, you got the juniper berries and the cedar leaves. You got the pine needles. Okay, you got wild garlic, you got wild onion, you got white willow bark from white willow trees. Those are something that can help you, you know, when you're really down and you got illnesses going on. I've used cedar tips and needles a lot while ill, and that helps knock out that common cold pretty quick. And a lot of this stuff that Esau's about to unleash deals with the common cold virus, and it's something that's going to be airborne, so it's going to affect your respiratory system. These things are going to help battle that. All right. If you can get a hold of it in times of in a pinch, wild grapes is another one. Wintertime, you're not going to find that one. But depending on when this thing hits, you know, in the fall, you can find wild grapes. In late summer. Okay. Get into different wild fruits and vegetables. All these things will help you, man. All these things will help you, you know. So, Lord's will, this lesson's edifying. Like I said, go ahead and check out the video. I'll leave a link in the description. I'm going to go ahead and close out. Give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone, Natasha's truth and will well. And salutations to hopeful that person is truth and our honest sincerity. Shalom.